Hello there, I'm Tina Hope-Darby, and some of you may already know me from Sky TV, the Psychics Interactive show, and some of you may have come to me for a reading. You will only have come to know me by my public persona as a reserved and highly secretive person, that is, up until now. I have written a book, it's an autobiography, and it's called The Unseen Enemy, and I would like to take this moment to read you the introduction. I have often looked back over the years and wondered why I chose to walk this somewhat tortuous path. I have a vivid childhood memory of standing in the cot in a darkened room and being gripped by an awful feeling of abandonment, desolation and dread of unseen things that were sharing the room with me. Even as a child, I was intuitively aware of a much bigger picture than most people were seeing, and by the same sense, I knew that my life was being choreographed by external energies beyond my control. With no trace of arrogance and almost with a sense of regret, I would look at my friends knowing that they were blissfully unaware of the extent that unseen entities were impacting on all of our lives. As hard as I might try to blend in and be like the other kids, it just wasn't happening. Being stood on a mountaintop and surveying the landscape through eyes that were older than my own, I could never lose the feeling of observing life from a distance. The same sense of separation was to increase as I got older, when I became subjected to an increasing number of psychic experiences, many of which were of a highly negative and a destructive nature. Looking back, my friends would often say that there was something strange about me. It used to really upset me at the time, but over the years I came to accept it. Perhaps I should have taken it as a compliment. Despite my apparent strangeness, they all held me in a position of trust on just about every level, knowing instinctively that they could rely on me to keep their secrets. Probably as a result of keeping so many secrets, I've become a touch paranoid, keeping most of my life a secret up until now. As a highly sensitive and somewhat serious child, it would tear me apart to see people hurt, unhappy or suffer an injustice, and I would do everything in my limited capacity to protect others and take away their pain. I feel that my role in this current incarnation is to help others to progress in their psychic and spiritual growth, helping them to understand the nature of strange and alarming psychic activities and how to deal with them. I've been told that people felt safe and comfortable sharing their fears, psychic experiences and spiritual aspirations with me. Many felt they couldn't confide in their friends or family for fear of ridicule. Often when people would find out that I was a psychic, I would be seen as a threat, or they would feel intimidated by my presence, based on the notion that I would be reading their minds and would know things that they did not want to be known, which I suppose was potentially quite true. But in practice, all I wanted to do was to be friendly, make people feel at ease, and to become accepted as being normal. I've experienced more than my fair share of hostility and jealousy from all manner of people, usually for no other reasons than being reasonably attractive, being seen on TV, and having the trappings of a successful life and career. Without a moment's consideration that being on TV comes at a high cost, and I might be subjected to as much of the crap as life can hurl at us as anyone else. For many years I was hurt by the undeserved hostility and jealousy, but as I acquired a deeper insight into human nature and the understanding that most negative responses come from a place of fear, and that many people instinctively fear anything or anybody that might be considered outside of the norm, it became easier to deal with. Looking back, there's a high probability that many people have sensed, albeit on a deeper level, the presence of dark entities, and one dark entity in particular that has tried to overshadow me and lead me down a much darker path. If you are expecting to read a book of cheery spiritual experiences, pleasant and prophetic conversations with the recently departed, and through no more than the mere experience of snuffing it, have suddenly been elevated to guru status, and in whose world only the good fairies exist, then this is probably not the book for you, as it may prove to be startling. I'm going to share with you my diverse range of physical, psychic and spiritual experiences that vary from the humorous to the downright horrific, some of which I consider myself lucky to have survived with my sanity. I will even share with you an extraordinary event involving a physical manifestation. At the very least, it will be an eye-opener, and it will help those amongst you who are experiencing some of the more alarming aspects of being open to the many vibrational spheres or realms that we share the same space with, to come to terms with and to realise that this is not something you're going through on your own. So if you've decided to read on, sit down, fasten your seatbelts, the roller coaster ride is about to begin. Thank you for listening.